ear, please. Hava, Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah. Hava, Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah. Shabbat Shalom. We begin with these words, Hava Nashira. That means let us sing together. Hava, Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah. Hava, Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah. Hava, Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah, Hallelujah.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
We're so glad to be together here in Midtown Manhattan in the sanctuary of Central Synagogue. And wherever you are joining us, if you are not with us right now in the sanctuary, I'm Rabbi Mo Salth, so pleased and honored to be leading the service with Cantor Julia Cadrain and our wonderful musicians. And we have another leader of our service today, Olivia. We're going to put you on the screen. You can give a wave next to your family here and your friends that have joined us in the sanctuary. We're so thrilled for this day where you will become bat mitzvah. And Olivia, I think you might have felt on this brisk spring morning a little raindrops coming to you as coming from the sky. I don't know if you know this, but in our tradition, rain is a sign of tremendous fortune because our ancients, they needed rain a little bit more than we do in New York. So I felt coming to service today, oh gosh, how lucky. She has a little rain this morning on this day, and mostly how lucky we are to have you co-leading the service. You'll be on the bima shortly. And we're also lucky because we get to be led by Cantor Julia Cadrain this morning. This is the final Shabbat. She'll be leading services with us for morning worship. And Cantor, we're so happy that you'll be doing so. And we're just going to take it every minute. In a way, it's been very normal this morning, getting ready and such. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, this is it. This is one of those special Shabbats. So we're going to try to take it all in, Cantor, this morning with you.
Me too, Rabbi. Thank you for that.
I'm going to invite you, Cantor, to help us with the worship. Yes.
Yes. We're going to continue on page 108 with the call to prayer, and we invite you to rise in body or in spirit. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Please be seated. We continue on page 114. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך Hayom alevavecha, v'shinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, b'shivtecha v'veitecha, uv'lechtecha v'derech, uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha, uv'shartam lehot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha, uv'chtavtam amezizot beitecha, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Page 122, our song of freedom. מי כמוך? מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהי לא נוספת, נורא תהי לא נוספת, לי 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 We turn to page 124 and we rise in body or in spirit. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi hagi tehilatecha. Continue with a few moments of quiet reflection and prayer. We invite you to either remain standing or be seated as you're comfortable. והגיון ליבי לפניך, אדוני צורי וגואלי, אדוני צורי וגואלי. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart יהיו לרצון עם רפי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי וגואלי אדוני צורי וגואלי.
We're now at the point of the service where we'll be soon reading from the Torah. Olivia, I'll invite you. You can take off your mask and open to the first page of your book and read this introductory poem.
The light of Torah shines forth from Zion. Adonai's teachings flow from Jerusalem. This scroll has nurtured our people from Sinai to today. It teaches us love and justice, hope and peace.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, B'echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
I know how special a day this is for your family, and we're so privileged now to have a chance to hear from your sister and your parents as they're going to share some words with you.
My sister is my best friend. We will always love each other, will always be there for each other, and have enjoyed each other's company for a very long time. Olivia is sweet, kind, funny, studious, and intelligent. She likes to pull tricks on me, too. We like to play board games, sometimes draw, and when we were younger, we did almost everything together. As we grew older, we started liking different things, but we still do some things together. But when we have to share a room, that doesn't always work out. When COVID struck, it brought us closer. We bonded over things like gaming, our new dog, skiing, and TV shows we watched. We both chased Chester in the yard. We skied together on the same runs, and even though we were bad at compromising, we still gamed and watched TV. As I've watched her prepare for her bat mitzvah, I've observed all her hard work, thoroughness, and long hours in her bat cave room. She's inspired me with her dedication, and I hope to be more like her in some ways. I hope that today, on her bat mitzvah, that she will look back and see all the amazing things she's done in the past. Oh, Lavia, I hope you have an amazing bat mitzvah. I love you. Mazel tov.
Words to your sister. I'll invite you to step down off that and push that block a little bit more center for later when Olivia, you'll use it. And now I'll invite your parents to share some words with you.
Good morning. First, a very heartfelt thank you to Rabbi Mo, Cantor Kedrain. You will be very much missed here. And also a thank you to Central's wider community of educators. We thank you for your guidance and for the time and care that you've committed to Olivia's preparation. A special thank you also goes out to Cantor Ellen Dreskin and the LCLJ program that brings to us Jewish learning in a family setting.
A warm welcome today, and thank you to our family and friends, most of whom are joining us virtually through the live stream. Please know that we do feel your presence here, and we are grateful for your time today and your love and support always. Olivia, your bar mitzvah provides for our family a meaningful way of marking this sacred time in your life and in our lives as a family. your Jewish learning journey has given us the opportunity to learn alongside you, and we thank you for enriching our lives this way.
According to Jewish tradition, upon becoming a bat mitzvah, you are a full-fledged member of the Jewish community, and you are morally and ethically responsible for your decisions and your actions. And while it may seem that you're young for that, I respectfully submit that you are ready. Your strong moral compass, your internal foundation of justice, and your understanding of your role as a citizen of this world is already in place. As you get older and you gain life experience, these attributes will dig deeper roots in your constitution, and your ability to affect your actions in the world will grow with you. But make no mistake, sweetie. You are already capable. And you already make the world a better place. Remember when you were 8 years old? Sorry. And you donated your birthday? Instead of getting gifts for yourself, you wanted to bring clean water to remote places in Africa. That was just the beginning. And your spirit of empathy and giving has just grown, and we're so proud of you for that. Sorry. It is tradition also that your parents pass along a ritual object to you, something of Jewish importance, something that's handed down from the generations. But those are material items, and you will acquire those in your life. Our mezuzah, our Kiddush cup, our Shabbat candlesticks. Instead, today, however, your father and I thought it would be more powerful to remind you of a gift that you already possess. It is a gift from which you have already drawn and has historically been the source of the Jewish people's survival and their ability to thrive. It is the gift of resistance. The refusal to accept or comply with what you know to be morally wrong. It is the strength to speak up when you know that it is not the popular position, but that it is the right one. It is the gift that compels you to stand up when you know that there is hate or oppression or injustice or ignorance. Using that gift is not always easy. You learned that recently when you spoke up on a complex matter of social justice. You were afraid to speak, and yet you spoke up. We are so proud of you for that, Olivia, for speaking up and for standing up. There are some difficult conversations going on now in our schools, in our governments, and in our places of worship. And it is important for you to use your voice, to be an advocate, and to work to repair the world in the most equitable of ways. And Olivia, please know that you are supported by your family, by your friends, and by your greater Jewish community.
Olivia, thank you, and congratulations on becoming a bat mitzvah today. We are so proud of you. Thank you for taking this most important step in renewing our family's covenant with Judaism. You're a mensch, so worthy of becoming a bat mitzvah, and so humble. You truly don't understand the role model you've become. You're a loving and loyal daughter, granddaughter, niece, and a great older sister. Well, most of the time. To your younger sister, Victoria, and to our puppy, Chester. Like your Jewish foremothers, you inspire all of us. Watching you grow up has been a delight and taught us, and me, a great deal. I am now the father of 2 daughters. Not God's revenge, as some have said, but rather his blessing. You've taught us a great deal about humanity, ingenuity, curiosity, determination, and self-sufficiency. And you have touched so many others who've known you. As one of our dear family friends said earlier this week, how charming and luminescent was Olivia as a young girl. You survived and even thrived in a very difficult year. In this, your bat mitzvah year, you've had to keep your wits about you through an ongoing global pandemic, a strict family quarantine, and a stifling virtual school for the 2 first trimester terms. We're sorry that you had to do it without being able to be with your close circle of friends, many of whom are here with us today, and our extended family, all of whom mean so much to you. But your spirit has remained buoyant, and your will as strong as ever, your vision focused on growing up as quickly as possible. And after our winter term in Utah, in which you set and achieved your goal of skiing 100 days and racing successfully against Utah kids who've been skiing all their lives, as an independent skier without any coaching or training, I am proud to proclaim to this community that you at age 13 are now the top-ranked skier in the Meyer family.
Olivia, you are brave, intelligent, loving. You're funny, and you're such a pleasure to be with. I love your Peppa Pig impressions. You crack me up with your voices, and you challenge us with your questions. You also have a business side where you invest wholeheartedly in what you undertake. Your skiing, the spelling bee, your class rep position, volleyball, your schoolwork. Those are just a few examples. Your quiet confidence and your hard work are hallmarks of your successes. And your ability to rise to the occasion of pressure-filled moments with such grace and poise as you have is so inspiring, and it reminds Daddy and me that the future is in good hands with you, my sweetie. Mazel tov.
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov.
Thank you for those beautiful, beautiful, and powerful words, Meraldina and Tony. All right, Olivia, I'm going to invite you to introduce the Torah portion you're reading today and the Aliyot. All our Aliyot are joining us virtually, so it's going to be extra special.
My Torah portion is taken from Parshat Bechukotai from the book of Leviticus, chapter 26, verses 3 to 13. For my first Aliyah, I call upon my grandparents Ed and Sandy, aunt and uncle Meg and Paul, and cousins David, Catherine, and William.
Praise the one to whom our praise is due.
Praise the one. Our praise is due. Praise be the one. Our praise is due. Now and forever. We praise you,
eternal God,
sovereign of the
universe.
You have called us to your service by giving us the Torah. We praise you,
O God, giver
of the Torah.
All right, so nice to hear that translation. Liz, if you want to do the Hebrew before as well, we'll have you do that now.
Baruch et Adonai Hamavarach.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Hamavarach Leolam Vaed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai notein ha'Torah.
Amen.
Amen. Im bechukotai te'elechu vet mitzvotai tishmeru v'asitem otam ונתתי גשמיכם ואיתם, ונתנה הארץ יבולה, ועץ השדה ייתן פריו, והשיג לכם דיש את בציר, ובציר ישיג את זרת, ואכלתם לחמכם לשובע, וישבתם לבטח בארצכם. ונתתי שלום בארץ ושכבתם, ואין בה חריד, והשבתי היה רעה מן הארץ, והרב לא תעבור בארצכם.
Beautiful chanting there. So, Lizzie, we're going to have you do the blessing now, and then for the second Aliyah, we're going to have Meg and Catherine do the Hebrew. But for now, Lizzie, you can do the blessing after.
Thank you. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet ve'haolam nata b'toheinu Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Torah.
Amen. And those who are doing the English translation of the first Aliyah, you can do that now.
We praise you, eternal God,
God,
sovereign of the universe. You have given us
Torah,
implanted within
and you,
eternal life.
no life.
We praise you,
Praise you,
God,
O God,
giver
giver
of the
of
Torah.
the Torah.
All right. Full technological power, maybe partial full power, but you guys sound great and you look great. Can you introduce the second Aliyah, please, Olivia?
For my second Aliyah, I call upon my Vomarta, that means grandma in Portuguese, Auntie C and Nick, and cousins Georgette and Lizzie.
So here we'll have Margaret, Meg, and Catherine do the blessing in Hebrew beforehand, and then we're going to hear the English. So we'll start with you, Meg and Catherine. Baruch Adonai Baruch Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher banu mikol ha'amim natan lanu et Toratahu Baruch atah Adonai notei Torah.
Amen. So nice. And we have family and loved ones doing the English translation of that blessing now. It's Vomarta, C, Nick, and Georgette.
Whom our praise is due. Praise be the one to whom our praise is due forever. We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe. Called us to your service by giving us the Torah. We praise you, O God, giver of the Torah.
Et oivechem v'nafelu lifnechem lecharev. V'radfu mikem chamisha meya umeya mikem revava yirdofu. V'nafelu oivechem lifnechem lecharev. Ufaniti alechem v'hifreiti etchem v'hirbeti etchem v'akimoti et biriti itchem. Ve'achaltem yashan, noshan, ve'yashan mipnei chadash totziyu.
Beautiful. Chanting Olivia. We'll have Meg and Catherine do the after blessing now, please, in Hebrew.
no take
Amen. And now we'll have Marta, C, Nick, and Georgette do the English translation.
We praise you, God, sovereign of the universe. You have given us the Torah of truth and planting within us eternal life. We praise you, O God, giver of the Torah.
Thank you so much for joining us using this technology. It's so nice to have you in the sanctuary. And now, Olivia, I know the cantor wants to share some words with you.
I do. It's such a pleasure, Olivia, to watch you shine and to have been with you on this journey. And I am grateful now to be able to offer you the greatest honor we can ever give. This will be the first time in your life that you receive this honor, and that is to be called to the Torah by your Hebrew name. You are so deserving of this. You are strong and resilient, kind and smart and amazing. And I offer this honor to you in the spirit of pride for the person that you are. Ta'amod, ta'amod, habat mitzvah, Ariel bat Nachshon, v'Shoshana, la'aliyah l'Torah. Now, Olivia, you'll chant that Torah blessing.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu michol hamim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Ata Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
V'natati mishkani b'tochachem, v'lo tigal nafshi itchem. V'hitalachti b'tochachem, v'chayiti lachem, l'elohim, v'atem tili le'am. Ani Adonai Eloheichem, asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, mihot lachem avadim, v'eshbor motot ulchem, v'yolech etchem kol ma'miyut. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch Ata Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Olivia, with your help, we have just completed a book of the Torah, the book of Leviticus, and we have a tradition of saying Chazak, Chazak, V'nid Chazek, be strong and may we strengthen one another. We say this whenever we finish a book of the Torah, and truly, your strength helps us all to feel strong. So I'll recite this, and I'll invite you all to repeat after me. Chazak, chazak, v'nid chazek. Chazak, chazak, v'nid chazek.
All right. Incredible chanting, Olivia. We're going to invite your parents and your sister to return to their seats. We're going to, you can roll up the scroll and put it in the center and take your book and introduce the Haftarah portion and chant it for us this special morning.
The Haftarah for this week is taken from the book of Jeremiah. I will be reading from chapter 17, verses 10 to 14. Ani Adonai choker lebochen kilayot v'lateit leish kirachav kifri me'alalav korei dagar v'lo yalad Ose Osher v'lov mishpat, b'hatzi amav ya'asvenu, uva'acharito yanaval. Kisei chavod me'arom me'rishon, me'kom mikdashenu. Mikvei Yisrael Adonai, kol ozvecha yevoshu, V'surai ba'aretz yigatevu ki azvu mekor mayim hayim et Adonai. Rafa'eni Adonai ve'ei rafei hoshi'eni ve'ivasheya ki tehilati ata.
for that beautiful Haftarah chanting. And Olivia, it's been my distinct privilege to meet with you to talk about this Torah portion, which you just chanted so magnificently. It's a challenging Torah portion, as we know, because we spent a lot of time trying to figure out what is happening, how it might apply to today. And you've written, and now you'll deliver a wonderful Devartora. Please share it with us.
This Torah portion comes from the book of Leviticus, after God has given the Israelites the 10 Commandments. It goes into more detail about the blessings if the Israelites honor their bond with God and the punishments if they don't. It takes place after Aaron disobeyed Moses and angered God by creating the golden calf. In a split second of anger, Moses saw the golden calf and smashed the tablets upon which were inscribed the 10 Commandments, believing that the Israelites were no longer worthy of the commandments in such a close relationship with God. In this parsha, to ensure the Israelites remained faithful to their covenant, God proposed a system of punishment and rewards. The punishments are extremely harsh and go on for over 3 times the length of the blessings. A punishment that's particularly disturbing is that God says, "You shall eat the flesh of your sons and the flesh of your daughters." After reading this text, I was very troubled. Isn't Judaism supposed to be a peaceful religion with a benevolent God? Shouldn't God want to give the Israelites only blessings because Adonai is their protector? I take a moment here to question God and his motives and actions. As a Reformed Jew, we are allowed, even encouraged, to wrestle with God. In fact, the name Israel means to wrestle with God, a sign of how important this practice is to the Jewish religion, to question and intellectually engage with the Torah, its teachings, and God. But back to my Torah portion. God is saying that to our ancestors that actions have consequences. This lesson of consequences for one's actions is very relevant in our society today, but as we know, God doesn't always appear in the ways the Torah says to enforce his rules. Let me give a powerful example of an issue that's very important to my generation in particular, climate change. Years ago, when climate change was first discovered, people were not concerned because it wasn't apparent that there would be consequences for their actions. They thought that what they did to the planet wouldn't permanently hurt the earth. Others believed it wouldn't affect them personally, as it wouldn't have much of an impact during their lifetime. Many years later, these consequences are finally appearing, and they are severe. As the Great Barrier Reef bleaches and the Sahara Desert expands, as species go extinct and our world's forests are consumed, as rising sea levels threaten our cities and weather patterns change unpredictably, we're stuck feeling like bystanders with no way to undo the damage that has been done. Sadly, the people who started harming the environment are not affected by their actions. Now we are on the brink of the point of no return, and we have to reverse the effects of the past. Without God's punishments to deter further damage, our only hope is to work together to revive the planet. Perhaps climate change is God's version of punishment. On our way home from school every day, we pass the climate clock in Union Square. This clock fluctuates between showing the time left until the point of no return and the percentage of renewable energy that the U.S. uses. The last time we checked, we have just under 7 years to prevent climate change from becoming irreversible. However, I am hopeful and confident that this reversal is possible. Science tells us so, and we must listen. Before I finish, I'd like to say thank you to a few people. Thank you to my parents for being my #1 supporters and helping me prepare for today. Thank you to my sister, who always brings a smile to my face with her constant energy and enthusiasm. To everyone who's presented in Aliyot, thank you for making the time to do so. I know being on Zoom is never preferred, but it means a lot to me that you could be a part of this. Thank you to Rabbi Salt and Cantor Gadrain for leading the service and helping me with my Torah portion and Devartora. Cantor Gadrain, congratulations. We wish you well in Connecticut and we'll miss you. Thank you to Cantor Bruce, my tutor, for teaching me my Torah portion and Haftarah. Standing here with a few special people in the sanctuary and so many more online is not how I initially imagined my bat mitzvah. But in the era of COVID, this might be the new normal. To my family on Zoom, I wish you could be here to see how tall I am, and I miss you so much. However, you are here, and I'm happy we're all still together. Thank you for joining me on my special day, and I'm honored that I get to share it with you.
Well, Olivia, I came into the congregation because I wanted to just be able to see you deliver, and you are tall. You're taller than your height. You're tall in your presence and in your wisdom. You delivered a very sobering but also inspiring Devartora, which I know I personally have internalized, and I know it's not just me to take care of our precious planet. So we're so grateful to you for uplifting us, for helping us celebrate Shabbat in the most exceptional of ways. And I'll invite you to join your family back on the bima for a little celebration song of Siman Tov and Mazel Tov as we recognize you on this day you become Bat Mitzvah.
Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Yehelanu, 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 Ulecho Israel, Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ulecho Israel, Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ulecho Israel.
Yes, indeed. Loved ones in the sanctuary and loved ones around the world, you know, are celebrating, and also just people who are part of our community from near and far who are with us for Shabbat. We're all really feeling quite uplifted this morning because of you, and I would like to share some special words with you in front of our ark on this special morning. I'll invite your family to return to your seats, the congregation to please rise.
Here with you beside me, I feel so greatly blessed. This moment means much more than I can say. A time to be together, a time for us to rest. Shabbat is here, the time has come to celebrate the day. So I hold you close, my hands upon your head. And from me to you, my child, these words are said. Yesimcha Elohim, Ke'Ephraim v'chi Menashe. May God give you life and strength like Joseph's sons. Yisibech Elohim, Kisara Rivka, Rachel v'Leah. May God make you like our mothers, like our blessed ones. May God make you like our parents, like our blessed ones.
We're about to recite the Mourner's Kaddish prayer, and in preparation for that, I share the names of dear ones whose presence is felt this morning from your family: Olivia, Ann Dubin, Anna Fernandez, Casimiro Fernandez, Marva Branch, Zoli Zimmerman, and William Dinka. And to these names, I add dear ones that are part of this synagogue community who we are remembering this Shabbat, dear ones who have died within the past 30 days. Stanford Abram, Lawrence Aubrey Brenzo, Iris Gare, Dan Goldman, Alyssa Epstein, Janie Furse, Edna Gamson, Alex Hochberg, Robert Kalish, Miriam Kleinfeld, Chaim David Kirsch, Dan Levine, Alan Michael Levy, Dorothy Norris, Susan Silverman, Shirley Werther, Robert Witt, and Lila Zuckerman. If you're observing a Yurt site this Shabbat or are saying Kaddish for a loved one and you would like to say the name of your dear one aloud, I'll invite you to do so at this time. We turn to page 294 and rise if we're able for these sacred words of Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabbah, b'yamad yivrach yurtei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon v'yomechon uv'chayid echol beit Yisrael, b'hagala u'izman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam umei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei d'kudsha brichu, Le'ala min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damiram v'yama v'yimru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru, amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu ya'asei shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru, amen.
Olivia, we're going to invite you and your parents and your sister back up to the bima one more time. We're going to close with a song of peace. We feel such a sense of peace watching you take your place in our community with such grace and love and joy. So we join together in this song. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Olivia, with the echoes of our ancestors amongst us, we heard your call to us to change and make a difference for our planet. And I know those of us that heard it are going to do just that because we're inspired by you today, inspired by this Shabbat worship. We wish you and everyone a Shabbat Shalom.
מרחביה מן המצר קראתיה ענני במרחביה עודך כי אני תעני ותהי לי לישועה עודך כי אני תעני ותהי לי ותהי לי לישועה ענני 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 answer me ענני 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 answer me ענני 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 answer me ענני 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 מן המצר קראתיה ענני ומרחביה מן המצר קראתיה ענני ומרחביה עודך כי אני תעני ותהי לי לישועה עודך כי אני תעני ותהי לי ותהי לי לישועה ענני 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 answer me ענני 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 answer me ענני 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 answer me ענני 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 I call out to you from a narrow place. Your answer came to me from a wide open space. My heart cried out for you wherever you are. Your hand reached out to me, min hametzar. Aneni, 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 answer me. 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 Aneni, aneni, aneni. Min hametzar
Shabbat Shalom. We begin to settle in together and raise our voices together with the words Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah. That means let us sing together. Hava, Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah. Shira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah. Hava, Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah. Hava, Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Shira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah, Hallelujah.
Boker Tov and Shabbat Shalom. We're so thrilled to be together for Shabbat morning. Here in New York, it's a crisp, even a little rainy morning, but just a little bit of drizzle, just to give us what our tradition would say would be a sense of the fortune that comes with a little rain. I'm Rabbi Mo Salth, joined by Cantor Julia Cadrain and our wonderful musicians who are downstairs. We're still in careful COVID protocols, so some of us are up here, distanced, masked. Some of us are downstairs, distanced, unmasked, so that we make sure we continue to stay safe. And we have another special co-leader for this service this morning, and I'm so thrilled to see Max in the congregation with his beautiful family. Max, give us a wave, just so everyone knows who you are. And soon they'll really be able to see you because you'll be helping us with our service this morning. And many of us know that our dear Cantor Cadrain is going to be taking the senior cantor position in Westport, Connecticut. This is her final Shabbat morning service with us, or services with us. And Cantor, we're just enjoying every note as we also just are present for Shabbat worship.
Thank you so much. I'm so grateful to have this time together. And I want to invite us to continue with the call to prayer, the Baruch Hu, our way of saying we're here together, we're ready to pray together. That's on page 108 of your prayer books. Please rise. Baruch Hu, et Adonai, HaMevorach, Please be seated. We continue on page 114. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Elohim. כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להות על ידך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לעולכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Page 122, our song of freedom. Ya la 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 la. Page 124, we rise. Adonai, sefatai tiftach, ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. We continue with a few moments of quiet reflection and prayer. We invite you to remain standing or be seated, whatever is comfortable for you. והגיון ליבי לפניך, אדוני צורי וגואלי, אדוני צורי וגואלי. May the words Adonai tzuri vegoali.
You know, Cantor, I'm sitting on the bima just listening to that beautiful meditation, and I'm just kind of getting lost in it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to do something after this beautiful.
It's Torah time.
But it's so nice to hear you sing it and just to be able to enjoy those beautiful sounds and words.
Thank you, Rabbi.
And it is time to enter the section of the service where we read from the Torah. And Max, I'm going to ask you to welcome us into this section by reading those words that are on the page in front of you.
The light of Torah shines forth from Zion. Adonai's teachings flow from Jerusalem. The scroll has nurtured our people from Sinai to today. It teaches us love and justice, hope and peace.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Max, we're going to take a moment to allow your sister and your parents to share some words on this special day that you become bar mitzvah. So Mackenzie, we're going to start with you and turn a little bit towards your brother, and Max turns toward her so you can get a good look at her. She shares some words with you.
I have been Max's little sister for over 10 years now. I know all his little habits and how annoying he can be, but Max has always been there and supported me. He walks me to school, practices sports with me, gives me good advice when needed, and even makes me happy when I'm sad. On this day, I feel the most proud of Max right now. I'm overjoyed, grateful, and feeling lucky to be his sister, especially at this moment, but I always am. Thank you for being my big brother, Max. I love you.
We're taking that all in, Mackenzie. So nice. So I'll ask you now to let your mom stand in front of the mic. You can stand right next to her and let your parents share some words with you this special morning, Max. And again, now turn towards them so you get the full ability to take it all in.
Son, S-U-N, right? Max, you are my son, my sunshine. If I needed to, I'd move mountains for you. Your kindness, smile, athleticism, honesty, silliness, passion to succeed, your determination to be successful at 13 years old is impressive. Everything you do, you give your all. Today, you worked so hard to get here during these crazy times, and I'm so proud of you. We're all so proud of you. Since you were little, we talked about doing the right thing. Remember bucket filling? Now becoming a bar mitzvah is reiterating how important this quality is that you have. Max, I love you so much. My dream for you is for your life to be meaningful, fulfilling, and so very happy. I'm so excited to watch your journey, Max. I love you.
Max, we talked about how this is a time for emotion, and if we're lucky, Max, we have people who love us so deeply, like you have in your parents. So even though this is a little public, again, I'll just invite you to take it all
in. On April 9th, 2008, my life forever changed as Max Sullivan came into the world. Loud and colicky, and ready to make his presence known. I'm good.
He told me not to have a breakdown.
Take your time.
All right.
I just said emotion is good. Emotion's good.
His namesake is from my grandmother Minna and Mommy's godfather, her Uncle Michael. And Sullivan, which reminded Katie and me of his Irish roots and my pop-up Sam. Sorry.
Take a deep breath and continue when you're ready. It's good. It's very good.
When I speak about Max today, I can't help but think of his kind demeanor. Everyone often compliments me about what a smart and thoughtful boy he is. Max is silly like me, but with boundaries. He's smart like me, but does better in school than I ever did. He's the athlete I always wished I was. And this makes me so proud. He's so accomplished by 13 years old.
That's my last cry.
All right, here we go. Max brings people together. He includes everyone and looks out for his friends and cousins. He's also an athlete. He's competent and strong. He plays hard and with his heart. Max, I wish you to stay competitive, but not to be too hard on yourself. To enjoy the games and continue to lead your teams, but to always stay a team player and to enjoy yourself. Mom and I can't even see I'm crying. My tears are blurring. Mom and I love watching you as a big brother for Mackenzie. You amaze us how you look after her, and even though you drive each other crazy and daily bicker, we know you have each other's backs. Kenzie and Max, you're so lucky to have each other. Back on. Max, congrats on becoming a bar mitzvah today. Never forget who you are. Always reach for the stars. That was his grandma's cheesy line. Embrace life, be kind, and live every day to the fullest. Thank you to our family here watching, and of course our friends and family watching on screens at home. It means so much to Katie and me having you be a part of Max's special day. I love you, man.
Katie and Rob, thank you so much for those tender words. You were not the only ones crying today. So I'm going to come and help set up the Torah so we can go into the Torah service.
My Torah portion is taken from the Parshat Behukotai from the book Leviticus, chapter 26, verses 18 through 28. For my first Aliyah, I call upon my Aunt Lisa, my Uncle Matt, and my cousins Jacob and Henry.
So those who come up, the blessings for the Torah right next to Rob. No, you can stand there, but you can stand next to Katie to give them some space. Come right up. And when you're ready, you can do the blessing before the Torah.
The Torah blessing before?
Yep, the Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Va'im adela lo tishma'u li v'asafti le'ishra et hem sheva ahatotehem v'shavarti et ga'un uzhem v'natatim et shemehem kavarzel va'et artsehem kanhusha v'atem lari kohahem v'lo totem artsemehem et yavula va'et haret lo yatem piryo.
All right.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam natan betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Such a nice job, Max, and Mazel Tov to your family.
Mazel Tov.
Joined you. You can give them a squeeze. And once you get a congratulations from everyone, I'll invite you to return to your seats. Max, can you call the second Aliyah, please?
For my second Aliyah, I call upon my grandma and papa, Trudy and Marty.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvorah.
Baruch Adonai Barach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Olam Asher Bacharbanu Mikol Ha'amim V'nastan Lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Notein HaTorah.
Amen.
Imi kari velo tovu lishma live asafti alehem maka sheva kahatotehem vashalati vahem etayat hasade v'shikla etem v'hikrita et behem tehem v'hem ita etem v'nashmu darhehem v'im be'eled lo tivasru li v'halatem imi kari Valati afani imahem bekari velo etem gamami sheva ahatatehem.
The blessing after.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam asher natan lanu et torato emet v'chaim Olam nata b'kochein she'enu Baruch atah Adonai notein haTorah.
Amen. So nice, Max. You can give your beautiful grandparents a hug. And everyone who's on the podium can return to their seats except for Max. We have one more section of Mazel Tov to you. And Max, I know the cantor wants to share some words with you before you chant the blessing.
Max, you're doing such an amazing job. It is not a small thing to do what you're doing, to stand up there without a rabbi or a cantor right next to you and to chant words of Torah, and you are doing it so beautifully. We are so proud of you, and it's a pleasure now to give you the greatest honor that we can ever give. For the first time in your life, you'll be called to the Torah by your Hebrew name. Ya'amod, Ya'amod, ha'bar mitzvah. Gedalia, Ben Reuven, ve'Catherine, La'aliyah leTorah. Now you'll chant that blessing, please.
Baruch et Adonai hamivorah.
Baruch Adonai havarach leolam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamra leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher baharbanu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai notein haTorah. V'heveti alehem herev no kemet nekam v'ri v'nem emsoftem elorehem v'helati dever beto hihem v'natetem be'ad oyev v'shiv ri lachem me'af lachmehem ve'afu iser na'asehem lachmehem betanor etad v'heshivu lachmehem v'mishkol v'halatem velo tisbao. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'haylei olam nata betoheinu Baruch atah Adonai notein haTorah.
Amen.
It's traditional when we finish a book of the Torah, which Max, you just helped us to do. We finished the book of Leviticus. We recite these words together, Chazak, Chazak, v'nit chazek. Be strong and may we strengthen one another. Max, we draw strength from your inspiration as we recite these words. Chazak, Chazak, v'nit chazek.
Chazak, Chazak,
v'nit chazek.
I agree with the cantor, Max. You definitely give us strength. And we're so happy that we'll have a chance now to hear you introduce and chant the Haftarah portion.
For this week is taken from the book of Jeremiah. I'll be reading chapter 16, verses 19 through 20. Adonai uzi, umanusi be'om tsara, alecha goyim yava'u me'af se'aret, va'emru ach sheker, nahalu avatenu hevel, va'en ba mo'il. Hayaset lo Adom Elohim, Vema lo Elohim.
Beautiful, Max.
All right. Well, Max, you and I had the privilege to study with you. You and I studied this Torah portion that you just chanted so impressively, and it wasn't such a simple portion. There's lots of complexity in it, and I really enjoyed just being able to look at it and discuss it and explore it. And now you've prepared, after all that work, a teaching for us. So I invite you to share it with us now, nice and slow, as you look at us and let us know what you think this Torah portion is all about.
A long time ago, in a land far away, Mount Sinai, God speaks to Moses and his people. God says if the people of Israel keep their covenant and obey the laws of his Torah, they will be rewarded with peace and tranquility in the land. But if they defy the divine will, they will be punished with terrible curses. The Torah speaks briefly about the rewards, rain in its seasons, plentiful crops, and all the good things any farming people could ask for. But if the people of Israel do not obey and remain hostile, then God will smite the people for their sins with the frightening curses: fever, disease, sores, barren land, wild beasts, and starvation. In a direct and shocking way, God spelled out the covenant blessings for obedience and the curses for disobedience. The idea that the section of curses is twice as large as the sections of blessings is interesting to me. I believe this speaks to the human nature. People seem to be more motivated by the fears and threats than by the promise of blessings. Was this God's thinking too, when God threatens double the punishments in this portion? Yes. Many of you know that I love sports. Most of all, I love playing baseball and basketball. This portion makes me think of players who have followed the rules and behaved well and received many rewards, and those who have not. Derek Jr. is an example of a good person who worked really hard at his profession. He was selected to be only one of the 11 captains in the history of the entire franchise, because he modeled what it meant to be an exceptional leader. When he retired, he was elected to the Hall of Fame, and then he decided no one else would ever wear his number. People still talk about the greatness of number 2. In contrast, Mark McGwire had the talent to be a great, honest baseball player. However, he took illegal steroids, and that was not the right thing to do. He therefore never made it to the Baseball Hall of Fame because of his wrong choices. I don't think God was rewarding or punishing these players. I think the Torah used God as motivation to our ancestors to help them do the right thing. My parents have instilled in me, no matter what the consequences, whether good or bad, positive or negative, to always do the right thing. I want to be a teammate that can be counted on and support my fellow players, a friend who lifts my teammates up, especially when they're down. At home, I want to be a responsible and helpful member of the family and be there for my sister and my parents. I'd like to thank Rabbi South, Cantor Kadreen, and my tutor Jenna Mark for their encouragement, patience, and teachings. Thank you to all my grandparents who are always there for me and are with me today. Thank you to my sister Mackenzie for staying in my room and not bothering me when I practiced for this special day. I know how hard this was for you, Mackenzie. And of course, my parents who show me love, understanding, and guidance. Without them, none of this would be possible. I don't say it enough or shout enough, but thank you for everything. I love you.
I'm sitting here in the congregation, and I just am so moved by you. It's so great to hear you teach Torah and talk about sports. You and I both love sports, and mostly to talk about your family and the type of person you want to be. You inspire me to do that too, and I'm really just. Normally I'll get out of my seat, I'll go back to my spot, but I'm just taking it all in, Max, because you are something else. It's like you're the MVP of the Shabbat morning service this morning, as you're just such a genuine soul, and we really are so grateful for your teaching and for all your hard work, and for you lifting us up this morning. And so we have a song of celebration. It's Siman Tov and Mazel Tov. I'll invite your parents and your sister to come back up with you and all of us to rise as we celebrate this special morning for you and your family.
Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Yehelanu, 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 Ulachol Yisrael, Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ulachol
Terrific. So Max, now I'll have a chance to speak some words privately in front of the ark to you. So I ask you to put your mask back on. Your family can return to their seats, and you'll meet me at the ark.
Here with you beside me, I feel so greatly blessed. This moment means much more than I can say. A time to be together, a time for us to rest. Shabbat is here, the time has come to celebrate the day. So I hold you close, my hands upon your head. And from me to you, my child, these words are said. Yesimcha Elohim, Ke'Ephraim v'chi Menashe. May God give you life and strength like Joseph's sons. Yisibech Elohim, Kisara Rivka, Rachel v'Leah. May God make you like our mothers, like our blessed ones. May God make you like our parents, like our blessed ones.
We're entering the section of our service where we remember loved ones who are no longer with us. From our synagogue community, we read the names of dear ones who have died in the past 30 days. Stanford Abram, Lawrence Aubrey Brenzel, Iris Gare, Dan Goldman, Alyssa Epstein, Janie First, Edna Gamson, Alex Hochberg, Robert Kalish, Miriam Kleinfeld, Chaim David Kirsch, Dan Levine, Alan Michael Levy, Dorothy Norris, Susan Silverman, Shirley Werther, Robert Witt, and Lila Zuckerman. And if you are remembering someone today, or you are recognizing their Yuret site, I'll invite you to say their name aloud at this time. We turn to page 294 to recite these sacred words, Kaddish Yatom Mourner's Kaddish. Yit Gadal, Yit Kadash, Shemei Rabbah, Bi'alma Divrach, Yeretev, Yamlich Malchutei, B'chayachon, V'yomachon, V'chayedachol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala, Uzman Kariv, V'yimru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevarach Le'olam Umei Amaya Yit Barach V'yishtabach V'yit Pa'ar V'yit Ramam V'yit Naseh V'yit Hadar V'yit Talev V'yit Halal Shemei Dekudsha Brichu Le'ala Min Kol Birchata V'shirata Chushbachata V'nechamata Damiram B'yama V'yimru Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chaim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'yimru, Amen. Osei Shalom B'romav, Hu Yaseh Shalom, Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'yimru, Amen.
Amen. Max, we'd love to invite you and your family back up to the bima for one last song of celebration and gratitude. Oseh Shalom is a song for peace. We all feel a sense of peace watching you take your place in our community in such a beautiful and strong way. Oseh Shalom b'romav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh Shalom b'romav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh Shalom b'romav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Max, you've helped us to keep our eye on the ball of what's most important and to help celebrate this beautiful Shabbat morning. Thank you for that. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. God in peace and raise me up to a world of living, oh, safe from the storm, in the shelter of your shalom. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'hamidenu shomrenu l'chaim. And know all of your ways and wisdom, oh, you would keep me safe, and I'd always praise your name. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'hamidenu shomrenu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'hamidenu shomrenu l'chaim. L'cha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. L'cha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor b'zachor b'dibur echad hishmianu el hamyuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad l'shem u'tiferet v'lithilah. L'cha dodi, oh, l'cha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. L'cha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela.
לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה. בראש מקדם
מחשבה תחילה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת בקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת בקבלה התעוררי כי בעורך קומי אורי שיר דברי כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת בקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה ובצהלה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה בואי חלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה.
We remain standing, turning to page 28 for our call to worship.
In the rising of the sun, we remember. In the blowing of the wind, we remember. In the opening of buds, we remember. We remember.
Of the leaves, we remember.
we're lost and sick at heart, we remember. When we've joys we yearn to share, we remember. We remember. So long as we live, they too shall live. They are now a part of us. They are now a part of us. As we remember, we remember. We remember. We remember. Shalom Rabba Yisrael Amcha Al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam Ki Ata Hu Melech Adon Adon Lechol Hashalom Beto benecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol leit ubechol shah shah bishlomecha. Shalom Rava Yisrael Amcha Al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam Ki Ata.
Shabbat Shalom and welcome. We begin with these words, Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah. That means let us sing together. Please join us. Hava, Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah. 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 Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah.
No doubt, hallelujah is the right word for this moment, for it is Shabbat, and it is also the day when we're celebrating one of our most beautiful students becoming bar mitzvah. Good morning, I'm Rabbi Mo Salt, joined by my friend and colleague, Cantor Julia Cadrain. This is Cantor Cadrain's penultimate service as our cantor here at the synagogue. And Julia, we love you, and we love hearing your voice, and we love being here on Shabbat with you. And we're taking it all in.
Me too, Rabbi.
Right before the service started, we got to greet our co-leader for this morning's service, Brett. Just put the camera on Brett, if you can wave for a second. He's sitting next to his beautiful family. Brett and I shared this bima many a time when he was in nursery school here. I don't want to embarrass you, Brett, but we would sit on the bima with your classmates and your teachers, and we would talk about our tradition and our teachings, and we even had you stand up on a box and look over the podium at the Torah, and today not only will you be seeing it, but you will be chanting from it, and I can only begin to share with you how much pride myself and the cantor and our synagogue has to see you reach this milestone. We're really thrilled to have you helping us lead the service this morning with us. So, and just invite everyone. We know that I see beautiful friends from the synagogue in our congregation. We're so glad to see to you and other guests and family as well. And we know there's so many joining us through our live streaming. So we just encourage you to sit back and enjoy this beautiful Shabbat morning together with us. If you'd like to follow along in a prayer book, you can find it on our website, on our centralsynagogue.org website, on our live streaming page. Our prayer book is there. So we're going to continue with some opening prayers this special morning.
So we're moving to page 108 of our prayer book for the Baruch Hu, the call to prayer, our way of saying we're here together, and we invite you to rise in body or in spirit. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Please be seated. We continue with the Shema on page 114. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך ובביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם להוד על ידך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לעצמכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. We turn to page 122 for our Song of Freedom.
Torah
Page 124. Please rise. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agitehilatecha. Adonai, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. We continue with a few moments of personal reflection and prayer. You can either be seated or remain standing as you're comfortable. והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי וגואלי אדוני צורי וגואלי
Brett, I'm going to invite you and your parents to come to the Bima for this opening section of the Seder Kriyat Torah. You and your parents can come up. You can take your masks off. For we are entering the section of the service where we will be reading from the Torah soon. And so, Brett, on that first page, I will ask you to read that poem to help us begin this part of the service.
Torah shines forth from Zion. Adonai's teachings flow from Jerusalem. This scroll has nurtured our people from Sinai to today. It teaches us love and justice, hope and peace.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shema.
Brett, on this special morning, we're going to have you stand on the bima with your parents and your grandparents that are able to be here. And we're going to pass this Torah into your arms. So I'll ask you to put your mask back on for the grandparents that are here. I'm going to invite you to put your mask on too and come up to the bima. Okay. So Brett will have you stand right here. And then your parents next to you and your grandfather next to them. Now, there was a time until only a few days ago when we couldn't actually perform this ritual, and it's so special that I have not done it myself until right now for over a year, and I could not think of a more powerful opportunity to speak to you and your beautiful family since I've been so lucky to know you for many, many years. And we're going to pass this Torah into your arms. It's a symbolic passing because we also know that there's been a literal passing of Torah from your family from generation to generation for your entire life. And they've taught you the heart of what is in this tradition, how to be good, how to be kind, how to be caring, how to take care of yourself and others. And there's one teaching in this tradition of ours that I like particularly. It's of a rabbi named Hillel, who 2,000 years ago, someone who wasn't Jewish came to him and said, I would say in a bit of a challenging way, teach me everything, he said, Rabbi, that's in this scroll, and I'll think about studying to become Jewish myself. And instead of Rabbi Hillel telling this young man, get away from me, I don't have time for you, be more polite, he said, I forgot that this young man challenged him to do it while standing on one leg. That's maybe as much as challenging. I think so. Rabbi Hillel, he actually stood on one leg, and he said, "What is hateful to you, do not do to anyone else." That is the entirety of the Torah. All the rest is commentary. And the young man was stunned by the rabbi's simple and profound response, and said in a very serious way, where do I sign up for your school? Well, you've been part of that school your whole life, and you know what's right, and you have this beautiful foundation connected to this tradition. And so it's with great love that I invite your grandfather. I know your grandmother is also watching us on Zoom. She's represented in this line as well as your grandparents who unfortunately are no longer alive, and all the generations that come and came before them as we pass this scroll to you with so much love.
You're a gift and you're a blessing. You are history in song. You are hope and you are healing. You are learning to be strong. Devartora, nagid God lecha. Devartora, we protect this chain from generation to generation. Devartora, these lips will praise your name.
Okay, Brett, I'm going to invite you to introduce the section of the Torah you're reading from.
My Torah portion is taken from Parshat Bechar Bekotai, from the book of Leviticus, chapter 26, verses 18 through 28. For my first Aliyah, I call upon my mom and dad, Janine and Peter, and my two older sisters, Morgan and Sabrina.
Now that we're done passing the Torah, you can take off your mask if you're on the podium. Invite your beautiful sisters to join you and your parents and your grandfather for this first Aliyah. Morgan, you can take your mask off too. You can just go on the other side of Brett so you can see the blessing, unless you can. Can you see it from there, Morgan? All right, the blessing beforehand. You guys go first, the Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaBarach.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amin v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. V'im ad ele lo tishma'u li v'yasafti la'yasara etchem sheva al chatotechem v'shavarti et ge'on uzochem v'natati et shmechem kabazel v'et atzachem kanachusha v'tam larik kochachem v'lo yitain altzachem et yevula v'et ha'aretz lo yitain pirio.
Beautiful job. And now your family's going to do the blessing after.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet ve'algei olam notav betokenu. Baruch Atah Adonai noten HaTorah.
Amen. All right, Brett, can you introduce the second Aliyah, please?
Second Aliyah, I call upon my grandfather Jim and my grandmother Phyllis.
Let's just switch positions. So your grandfather will be on your right, your grandmother's going to be on the screen, and your family's going to just be to your left there. Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amin v'notan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. V'im telechu imi keri v'lo tovu lishmo ali v'yasafti alechem maka sheva kachatotechem v'helachti v'chem et chayat hasadeh l'shikola etchem v'hilita et b'chemtechem v'im'ita etchem v'nashamu dalchechem v'im ba'ele lo tivasavru li v'halachtem imi keri v'halachti af ani imachem b'keri v'hiketi etchem gam ani sheva al chatotechem.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher notan lanu Torah emes v'kayei olam notan b'zchutenu. Baruch Atah Adonai noten HaTorah.
Amen. So, Brett, we didn't actually see your grandmother on the screen. I'm sorry about any technical difficulty on our end, but we know that she's with you here today and cheering you on, and we all are, because you're doing such a nice job. So you can you can step down, you can get a hug from everyone, and then you can return to your seats. And after you get a hug from your family, I know the cantor wants to share some words with you. Brett, you're doing so well.
Brett, it's so amazing to watch you rise to the challenge of becoming bar mitzvah. It is really an enormous achievement and takes such strength and courage to stand up at the Torah without a rabbi or a cantor right by your side. And the truth is, you don't need us. You are amazing all on your own. and so deserving of the honor you're about to receive, which is to be called to the Torah by your Hebrew name for the first time ever. And I offer you this honor on behalf of our whole community and congregation in the spirit of appreciation for the strong and smart, funny, kind person that you are. Ya'amod ha'bar mitzvah vel volebo ben Pesach v'chas yachana la'aliyah Torah. Now you'll chant the blessing for us.
Baruch hu et Adonai chamavarach.
Baruch Adonai hambarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai chamavarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher bahar banu mikol chamim v'natan lanu et Torto. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. V'heveti alechem cherev no kemet nakambarit v'ne'esaftem el arechem nashi dalchechem v'shilachti dever b'tochachem v'nitatem b'yad oyev B'shivri lachem mate lechem ve'afu eser nashim lachmachem b'tanur echad v'heishivu lachmachem b'mishkal v'achaltem v'lo tisba'u v'im bezot lo tishma'u li v'halachtem imi b'keri v'halachti imachem b'chamat keri v'sarti etchem af ani sheva al chatotechem.
Sound so good hearing you chant, and now we'll do the blessing afterwards.
Baruch hu atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam natan b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Before I begin,
you know what? The candidate wants to say something about the fact that this is the last Torah portion in Leviticus, and then I want you to say what you're going to say.
Brett, with your help, we've just finished the reading of the book of Leviticus, and we have a tradition of chanting Chazak, Chazak, V'nit Chazek. When we finish a book of the Torah, that means be strong, and may we strengthen one another. And we draw strength from you, Brett, and what you have shared with us today. So we join in this. Chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek. Chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek.
Haftarah, I would like to thank Cantor Kadrain for helping me along my journey to become a bar mitzvah. This is her last bar mitzvah at Central Synagogue, so I wanted to thank her for her hard work and wish her the best of luck on her journey. Now, the Haftarah for this week is taken from the book of Jeremiah. I will be reading from chapter 16, verses 19 through 21. Adonai uzi, uma uzi, umnusi b'yom tzara elecha goyim. Yavo me'afsei aretz vayomeru ach sheker nachalu avotenu hevel ve'en bam mo'il haya aser lo adam Elohim v'hema lo Elohim. Lachei hineni motiam bapam hazot odiem et yadi vet gevurati v'yadu kishme Adonai.
I just want to say, Brett, there's like a dichotomy between the Torah and the Haftarah, where like the Torah has blessings before and after and Aliyot, whereas the Haftarah we can just take a chance to sit back and I love that you're singing with full voice, and it was really nice to hear both your sections of Hebrew. But most of us are not Hebrew speakers, at least as our first language. So we are going to now hear from you teach about this Torah portion. I just want to say what a privilege and pleasure it was for me to join you on Zoom, to sit in our homes and look at this challenging Torah portion and try to figure out what it means and what's going on. And you've written such a beautiful teaching, and I'm really glad that everyone else in the congregation, and me too, because I'm going to go sit and listen, is going to have a chance to hear you share it now. So please.
Today's Torah portion features Moses, God, and the Israelites. God is telling Moses about the commandments the Israelites are to follow. God tells Moses to tell the Israelites that if they follow the laws, they will be rewarded. Some of the rewards include peace in their land and protection from their enemies. God also tells Moses that if the people do not follow these mitzvot or laws, they will be reprimanded. God will be hostile to them and make their lives miserable by stripping them of everything, their land, their family, and many other things. God's goal is to convince the Israelites to follow these laws. I find it interesting that God is laying this reward and punishment structure to the Israelites as motivation for them to follow the commandments. It seems quite straightforward and simple to me that the Israelites should want to follow moral commandments such as do not murder and love your neighbor as yourself. Why does God feel the need to motivate them by stating such amazing rewards and brutal punishments? It seems that it is in the Israelites' best interest that they should want to follow these laws. I think that just the gift of peace as a result of following these laws should be enough of a reward. Why does God think they need such intense encouragement? I think that because the Israelites were just freed of slavery, they need to break out of their slave mentality, so they needed a reminder on how to properly act. People sometimes go astray from what is right and sometimes do not know what is truly in their best interests. God noticed this and knew that the Jews needed some help, and in this Torah portion, God tells the Jews what to do to help them. To this day, parents use very different ways to motivate their children to behave well. God in the Torah portion is the ultimate parent. In our modern days, parents can reward their child with something like candy or a toy they really want. If they misbehave, then parents can remove these rewards and use a punishment and discipline to motivate their child to behave better. Children need to be taught how to behave, just like the Israelites needed to be retaught how to behave. My Torah portion relates to me because my parents have set high standards for me throughout my childhood. When I was very young, and even still today, when I do something well, I get rewarded with words of encouragement. If I do something wrong, I do not get rewarded, or worse. While I may sometimes complain to my parents about the high standards we have in our family, I am proud to be part of a family that wants each of us to be the best we can be. And I am proud today to call myself a young adult that is part of a tradition that does the same.
Wow, Brett, that's so great. I think we need to get you your own YouTube channel where you can teach Torah every week. We haven't discussed this yet, so I don't want to put any pressure on you.
Subscribe, Rabbi, subscribe.
Yes, we could be your guests, and you could teach us Torah, and it would be awesome. But let's not get ahead of ourselves at Shabbat. But it's great. It's great to hear you talk about this Torah portion. By the way, something happened when you're delivering. There was like a loud noise to the side, and I don't know if people on Zoom could hear it, but I could hear it. But you did exactly what we'd want any teacher to do. You just kept teaching, and you had our attention the whole way, And as a teacher, that's always like a fear, like something's going to distract you, and it's going to be hard for you. But you're focused. You know what you want to teach about. You have this clarity and goodness about you that just radiates, Brett, and it's just so awesome. It's been the case with me and you in terms of me experiencing that from you your whole life. I've been fortunate to see that from your sisters and your parents as well. So there's just a lot of incredible energy in the congregation, led from you, emanating it from you on this beautiful day. So it is not only myself that's just feeling so much joy. It's our entire congregation here. I know so many who are joining us over our Zoom links and our live streaming. So we're going to all invite all of us to rise and to get some of that spirit out as we sing Siman Tov and Mazel Tov. I'll invite your parents and your sisters to come up to be next to you for this. And we're going to sing in celebration of this beautiful moment today.
Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Yehelanu, 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 Ulecho Yisrael, Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ulecho Yisrael.
I'm going to share some private words with you now in front of the ark, Brett. So I'll ask you, actually, the rest of you to put on your masks as well. You can return to your seats. Brett, we're going to go to the ark. We're going to ask the congregation to remain standing as the ark will be open.
Here with you beside me, I feel so greatly blessed. This moment means much more than I can say. A time to be together, a time for us to rest. Shabbat is here, the time has come to celebrate the day. So I hold you close, my hands upon your head. And from me to you, my child, these words are said. Yesimcha Elohim ke'Ephraim v'chi Menashe. May God give you life and strength like Joseph's sons. Yisibech Elohim Kesarah Rivka Rachel Leah. May God make you like our mothers, like our blessed ones. May God make you like our parents, like our blessed ones.
entering the section of our service where we say the Mourner's Kaddish. And before we do, I just wanted to say, Brett, and to your family, your mom told me that that your grandmother knit these kippot, which you're wearing, and you're wearing your father's talit because your dad is wearing his father's talit of blessed memory. So we're thinking of loved ones from your family who are no longer alive, but are very much present here today. And we also are aware that members of this community have had loss recently, and we're going to read the names of our community's dear ones who have died in the past 30 days now. Stanford Abram, Lawrence Aubrey Brenzel, Iris Gare, Dan Goldman, Alyssa Epstein, Janie First, Edna Gamzin, Alex Hochberg, Robert Kalish, Miriam Kleinfeld, Chaim David Kirsch, Dan Levine, Alan Michael Levy, Dorothy Norris, Susan Silverman, Shirley Werther, Robert Witt, and Lila Zuckerman. And to those names, I'll invite anyone here today to say aloud or in the heart the names of loved ones whom you're going to say Kaddish for today. For all of them, we say Zichronam Livracha. Their memories will always be for blessing. On page 294, we'll find the sacred words of Mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, b'yama divrachu teviam lich malchutei, b'chayachon uv'yomachon uv'chayedachol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uzman kari v'yimru, amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam umei amaya, Yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitromam, v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar, v'yitalev, v'yitalal, shemei kudsha brichu, le'elam min kol brichata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, damiram b'yama v'yimru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru, amen. Osei shalom b'momav, hu yaseh shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru. Amen.
Amen. Brett, we'd love to invite you back up to the bima and your family as well. We're going to close with a song of peace, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. We believe that peace will come, and we feel peace is that much closer and more present when we share this morning with you and watch you shine from the bima. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam Shalom. Salam Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam Shalom. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
karatia anani v'merchavia min hametzar karatia anani v'merchavia odcha ki ani tani v'tehili lishua odcha ki ani tani v'tehili lishua. Aneni, 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 answer me. Aneni, 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 answer me. Aneni, 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 answer me. Aneni, 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 min hametzar karatia anani v'merchavia min hametzar karatia anani v'merchavia odcha ki ani tani v'tehili lishua odcha ki ani tani v'tehili lishua. Aneni, 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 answer me. Aneni, 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 answer me. Aneni, 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 answer me. Aneni, 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 I call out to you from a narrow place. Your answer came to me from a wide open space. My heart cried out for you wherever you are. Your hand reached out to me, min hametzar. Aneni, 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 answer me. 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 Aneni, aneni, aneni,
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. Lay me down, God of peace, and raise me up to a world of living. Oh, safe from the storm, in the shelter of your shalom. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, ve'hamidenu shomrenu l'chaim. If I could follow you and know all of your ways and wisdom, oh, you would keep me safe, and I'd always praise your name. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, ve'hamidenu shomrenu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, ve'hamidenu shomrenu l'chaim.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom, ve'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Shelter us beneath your wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom, ve'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim.
rising of the sun we remember. In the blowing of the wind we remember. In the opening of buds we remember. We remember. When we're weary and need strength, we remember. When we're lost and sick at heart, we remember. When we've joys we yearn to share, we remember. We remember. So long as we live, they too shall live. They are now a part of us. They are now a part of us. As we remember, we remember. We remember. We remember.
Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, and with thanksgiving I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, and with thanksgiving I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Ve'asuli mikdash ve'shachanti betocham va'anachnu nevarech me'ata ve'ad olam. Oh Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, and with thanksgiving I'll be a living for you. Oh, guide my steps and help me find my way. I need your shelter now. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps and help me make this day a song of praise to you. Rock me in your arms and guide my
Shabbat Shalom. We begin with these words. Hava Nashira. Shir Hallelujah, that means. Let us sing together. Please join us. Hava, Hava Nashira. Shir Hallelujah. Shir Hallelujah. Hava, Hava Nashira. Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah. Hava, Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah. Hava, Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah. Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah, Hallelujah.
Shalom. So nice to be here in our congregation with all of you, and we know with all those that are joining us through live streaming. It's a very nice day here in New York. A little rainy, but as some of you might know, and particularly Torah, I want you to know, when there's a little rain, that's a sign of good fortune. And no doubt that is what I was thinking when I saw the rain. I said, oh, Tori got a little rain today. That's good news on her bat mitzvah. As you have heard, we have a special co-leader of our service this morning, and her name is Tori. Can you give a wave to us so we can see you next to your beautiful family? Tori, I was just doing a little reflecting since you and I have been lucky to know each other a long time. On May 16th, 2009, I was lucky to be with you and your family as they bestowed your Hebrew name to you. And after that, you were a regular member of our nursery school. You were here as much as any other member of the synagogue was during your youngest years. And we sat here on the bima, we played in your classroom, and as you've grown through LCLJ and now for Bat Mitzvah, we've had a chance to study. So it is very powerful for both me and the cantor to be able to be part of this service with you as a co-leader, and to you and your beautiful family, I want to say Congratulations. And I am Rabbi Mo Salth, joined by my friend and colleague cantor Julia Cadrain, and our magnificent musicians to help fill this service with song. This is a sensitive day for us in only the most sweet and bitter of ways, because we are concluding Cantor Cadrain's time at Central Synagogue with this service in terms of our worship. Sweet because we love you so much, Julia, and we're so thrilled for the chance that you'll have as the senior cantor of Temple Israel in Connecticut and in Westport, Connecticut. And I can't say the words because it's just, if I say them, maybe, if I don't say them, maybe it's not true. But in all seriousness, we just adore you, and it's been such a privilege to work with you. And we're really looking forward to the service. And I was noticing earlier that we have at least 4 screens, and when you're leading the service, you are on them. So it's like we're surrounded by you, and we're just leaning into that on this special service and special morning.
Thank you, Rabbi. I'm so grateful. I love to tell people when I'm down here in the pavilion, up in the sanctuary, it's more Cantor Cadrain than you ever thought you needed.
Of course, the reason you're down there is because of safety protocols. Otherwise, we'd love to have you here. But yes, you're right. Now we get four Cantor Cadrains.
4 Cantor Cadrains. All right. I only have just the one. So we'll turn now to page 108 for the call to prayer. That's like our way of saying we're here together. We're ready to pray. Please rise. Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach Please be seated. We'll continue on page 114. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Amen. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meyodecha. Hadivarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shiftecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shokbecha uv'kubecha uv'kshartam lehot al yadecha v'hayu latotafot b'neinecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uv'isharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim lo alechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti atchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem. We turn to page 122 for our Song of Freedom. Lay, 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 page 124. Please rise. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. We continue with some quiet personal reflection and prayer. We invite you to be seated or remain standing as you're comfortable. Yehiyu leratzon imrefi vehegyon libi lefanecha. Adonai tzuri vegoali. Adonai tzuri vegoali. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock and my redeemer. Yehiyu leratzon imrefi vehegyon libi lefanecha. Adonai tzuri vegoali. Adonai tzuri vegoali.
Tori, I'm going to invite you to come up to the podium with your parents. You can open up your book to the first page and take off your mask, for we are entering the section of our worship where we will be reading from the Torah. And to help us open this section, Tori will invite you to, you can just come right up next to her, yeah. You can read that first poem on that page.
The light of the Torah shines forth from Zion. Adonai's teachings flow from Jerusalem. This scroll has nurtured our people from Sinai to today. It teaches us love and justice, hope and peace.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shema.
And now I have the honor of inviting you and your parents to step a few more steps up this podium. I'll ask you to put your masks on, invite your 3 grandparents that are here today to join you as we're about to pass this Torah into your arms. Tori, this is one of our favorite rituals in our community because we get to symbolically and literally pass from generation to generation the Torah into your arms. And we know that your family has been embracing this tradition for many years, teaching you the core values of our people and the essential goodness of what it means to be a Jewish person and to be kind and caring and thoughtful throughout every aspect of your life. We have a name for our people besides the Jewish people, and that name is Israel or Yisrael. It comes from the Torah and a story of one of our forefathers, Jacob. He's given the name Yisrael, which actually means to wrestle with God, and later we become known as the children of Israel or Israel. So we are a people that wrestle with God, which doesn't necessarily always make sense. You think, oh, we should be honoring God and respecting God through our lives. And I think that is very much part of what our tradition's about. But also, we're to think and to challenge and to question. And that is what we did together when we studied this very interesting Torah portion. I would say this very challenging Torah portion. And together we wrestled with the text to try to figure out what does this mean and how can we get the ultimate goal of using it to be a force for good in our world. And a force for good, Tori, you are. So it's with all that we have been on this journey, your teachers, your family with you, and we continue to do as we are today, to stand by you and to pass this Torah soon into your arms. And I'll mention, although she's not here, your grandmother, your mother's mother, we feel her presence here today as we send this Torah through generation to generation with love to you.
You're a gift and you're a blessing. You are history in song. You are hope and you are healing. You are learning to be strong. Let Devartora nagid golecha. Let Devartora, we protect this chain from generation to generation. Let Devartora, these lips will praise your name. Let Devartora nagid golecha. Let Devartora, we protect this chain from generation to generation. Let Devartora, these lips will praise your name.
Introduce the section of the Torah you're reading from in the first Aliyah.
Tonight's portion is taken from Parashat Bechukotai, from the book of Leviticus, chapter 26, verses 3 through 13. For my first Aliyah, I call upon my grandparents, Gerald, Margie, and Michael.
Okay, ready? Here we go. Noam Bara, Barchanan Bara, Kleolam Va'ed, Baruchan Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher bocha bonu Kodanim, V'nosan lanu es Toraso, Baruch atah Adonai, Mosein HaTorah.
Amen. In bechukotai telechu, ve'et mitzvotai tishmeru, va'asitam otam. V'natati gishmechem beitam, v'natana ha'aretz yavula, va'it hasadeh yitain piryo. Ve'yisig lachem daish, et batsir uvatsir yasig et zara, v'choltem lachmechem lasova, v'shavtem laveta be'artzechem. V'natati shalom ba'aretz, ushavtem ve'ein macharid, ve'yishbati chayara min ha'aretz, ve'cherev lo tavor be'artzechem.
Nicely done, Tori. So beautiful. Now invite your grandparents to do the after blessing.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emes, v'chayei oleinu v'kol ha'breathing. Baruch atah Adonai, nosein haTorah.
That's a rough one, but you chanted it so beautifully, particularly with you standing aside, Tori. So, Tori, can you introduce the second Aliyah?
For my second Aliyah, I call upon my mom, Lauren, my dad and stepmom, Scott and Amanda, and my sister, Megan.
Your seats, and you guys can come up, stand to the right of Tori for the blessing beforehand. You can take your mask off when you're next to Tori there. So the first word, Baruch Hu.
Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amin Ve'natan Lanu Et Torato Baruch Atah Adonai Notein HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Ordaftem et oivechem, v'naflu lifnechem lecharev, v'radfu mikem chamisha meya umeya mikem reveva yirdofu, v'naflu oivechem lifnechem lecharev, ufaniti alechem, Vehifreiti etchem, vehirbeti etchem, vahakimoti et beriti etchem, vachaltem yashan noshan, veyashan, mipnei chadash totziu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam natan b'tokenu Baruch atah Adonai notein haTorah.
Thank you so much for that beautiful blessing. Tori, you're chanting so nicely. I'll invite your family now to return to your seats, but not you. I know Cantor Cadrain wants to share some words with you.
Tori, you're doing such an amazing job. I'm so proud watching you shine from this bima. And it's fitting now that you should receive the greatest honor we can ever give. And this will be the first time in your life that you receive this honor. And that is to be called up to the Torah by your Hebrew name. You have risen to the challenge of becoming bat mitzvah. And we are all so full of pride watching you take your place here. Ta'amod, ta'amod, ha-bat mitzvah, Malka Chana, bat Leana Riva, Vegedalia Yehuda, La'aliyah Torah. Now Tori will invite you to chant the blessing.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvorah.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol hamim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
V'natati mishkani b'tochachem v'lo tigal nafshi itchem. V'hithalachti b'tochachem v'chayiti lachem l'Elohim v'yatem tihiu li le'am. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim mihiu lachem avadim ve'atem tihiu li le'am. Ve'eshbor motot ulechem ve'olech etchem tomemiyut. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tuchenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
That you have an exceptional voice, and it's so wonderful to have you just on the microphones filling up the sanctuary with the words of your Torah portion. And this is the last Torah portion in this third book of the Torah, and I know the cantor wants to mention something about that.
I do want to mention. How did you know, Rabbi?
Well, yes. I know you. I know what's on your mind.
We have a tradition of chanting chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek when we finish the book of the Torah. That means be strong and may we strengthen one another. Tori, we draw such strength from you, watching your strength and poise and the light that you shine on this bima. So we chant these words now. Chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek. Chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek.
And there's good news, congregation, because we have a chance to hear Tori chant some more, particularly the Haftarah blessings and the Haftarah for today. I'm going to ask you to introduce that, Tori, and go on with the blessings.
The Haftarah for this week is taken from the book of Jeremiah. I'll be reading from chapter 17, verses 10 through 14. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nvi'im tovim v'ratza v'divrehem hane'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'Torah u'Moshe avdo u'v'Yisrael amo u'v'nvi'ei ha'emet v'tzedek. Ani Adonai cholker lev bochen kelayot velatei leish kidrachav kifri me'alalav korei dagar velo yalad osei osher velo demishpat b'chatzi amav ya'azvenu u'v'acharitav yeh naval kisei chavod macharom merishon mekom mikdashenu mikveh Yisrael Adonai kol ozvecha yevashu v'surai ba'aretz yikatevu ki azvu mekor mayim chayim et Adonai Rafa'eni Adonai ve'ei Rafa'ei Hoshieni v'vasheya ki tehilati atah. Baruch atah Adonai Tzadik bechol hadarot, ha'el ha'ne'eman, ha'omer v'oseh, ha'mdeber kayem, shekol devarav emet v'tzedek, al ha'torah ve'al havodah ve'al hanvi'im ve'al Yom Shabbat hazeh, shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu, likdusha v'limnucha, lachavod u'tifaret, al hakol Adonai Eloheinu, enachnu modim la, umvarchim ota, yimbarach shemha b'fi kol chai, tamid le'olam va'ed, baruch atah Adonai, mikadesh haShabbat.
Beautiful job, Tori. So wonderful to hear you chant. And as I mentioned, I really also thought it was wonderful that we had a chance to study this challenging portion together. You've written a very thoughtful Devartora. I know you want to say some words beforehand, and then I want to invite you to share it with all of us.
Before I share my Devartora, I want to thank Rabbi Soth and Cantor Gadrain for helping me prepare for this day. I'm honored to be Cantor Gadrain's last bat mitzvah service at Central Synagogue. I want to wish her the best of luck in her new adventure. In Parashat Bechukotai, God continues to have a conversation with Moses, who is still on Mount Sinai. Moses and God are discussing the behavior of the people. This leads God to tell them if the people obey the laws of the Torah and keep the covenant, they'll be rewarded with peace, tranquility, full crops, and rain in its season. If they disobey the laws, they'll be disciplined and experience gruesome curses. People will be punished with illness, starvation, homicidal beasts, and cannibalism. Reading this, I wondered why God would threaten to punish the Israelites. It was really upsetting to read how our ancestors, and maybe even we, might be treated if we didn't follow the commandments. Then I realized the writers of the Torah were using God to motivate the reader to have respect and honor for the mitzvot. The authors used God to teach that actions have consequences. In our world, we have many who teach us this important lesson. Behavior has its consequences. In my life, my parents and teachers constantly reinforce this message. They always tell me to think before I act and to make sure I respect those around me. I have also learned the lesson the hard way. One time, my friend and I were playing a prank on another friend by hiding her shoes. When she went to go look for them, she fell and cut her lip. Afterwards, I felt very guilty that something I thought would be funny ended up hurting my friend. This taught me to be more thoughtful and realize the effect my actions have on the people around me. The government and current events teach this lesson too. When the news of Governor Cuomo's inappropriate relationships with female staff members came out, people were very upset with his past behavior. It is crazy how Governor Cuomo's abuse of power has overshadowed all the good he did for New York last year during the COVID-19 pandemic. This just goes to show that no matter who you are, your actions can ruin your career and relationships. As for me, I personally know the benefits of when I work hard for school and when I treat my sister and friends with love and respect. Today I stand here as a bat mitzvah, and going forward I will strive to be more respectful and careful about what I say and do to protect those around me. I don't think God will necessarily reward me for this, but I do believe that there will be such reward for taking the best care of my loved ones and my school responsibilities. That will be reward enough.
Wow, such impressive teaching, Tori. I like to sit in the congregation because if I sit here, I really can't, see you, and you have a tremendous strength in delivery, and your words are particularly engaging. First of all, when I'm studying with students and we talk about their teachings, sometimes I'll encourage them. If there's an example where you've learned how to be a better person, you can share it. But it's hard for students to do that because they have to explain to the congregation, I've learned from this mistake. But you didn't shy from that. You talked about this incident with your friend. You weren't trying to be malicious. It just, you were pranking her, right? And it didn't turn out so well. And instead of being like, it doesn't matter, you're like, I'm not going to do that again. But also you're showing us your comfort with your self-awareness and wanting to be a better person, which I think is very good news for you. and also very good news for all of us. And then also you approach a subject which, again, it's hard for B'nai Mitzvah and adults to talk about, and that subject is God. And I agree with you. I don't think God's in the business of punishing us or rewarding us. I think God more is in the business of supporting us and being by our side. But nonetheless, this teaching which you mentioned is so true that when we are able to be our best and live at our best, not only is there a reward just enough from that, but it also allows us to just feel good about ourselves and to sleep at night and be like, I'm trying my best, I'm doing my best. That's what we want from you, of course, and that's what we want from all of us. And you, Tori, we couldn't have a better teacher for that lesson than you today, and thank you for all the work you've put in and all the effort you've put in and for who you are. You are a bright, bright light in this community and for all of us that are lucky to know you. And we're just bursting with happiness and joy, and we're going to let some of that out now. We're going to invite the congregation here to rise. Those of us that are joining on live stream, we're going to sing a round of Siman Tov and Mazel Tov. We'll invite your parents and your sister to come back up for some do-si-doing and some singing, and your whole family can come up to celebrate and sing these words. You can take your mask off, and we can sing Siman Tov and Mazel Tov.
Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Yehelanu, 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 Ulechol Yisrael, Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ulechol Yisrael.
So great to see you all next to Tori. And I'll invite you now, Tori, to come up next to the ark. I have some private words I'd like to share with you. Your family can return to your seats. And we're going to remain standing if we're able because the ark will be open.
Here with you beside me, I feel so greatly blessed. This moment means much more than I can say. A time to be together, a time for us to rest. Shabbat is here, the time has come to celebrate the day. So I hold you close, my hands upon your head. And from me to you, my child, these words are said. Yesimcha Elohim ke'Ephraim v'chi Menashe. May God give you life and strength like Joseph's sons. Yisibech Elohim keSarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah. May God make you like our mothers, like our blessed ones. May God make you like our parents, like our blessed ones.
We're entering the section of our service where we remember loved ones who have recently died, who have died many years ago. In particular, we're thinking of Elisa Angowitz, your dear mother, Lauren. Her presence, as I mentioned earlier, I know is here. And we think of other dear ones from your families who are no longer alive and are here and whose presence is with us. And we read names of loved ones from this community, loved ones who have recently died within the past 30 days. As we think of them and remember them, their names are Stanford Abram, Lawrence Aubrey Brenzel, Iris Gare, Dan Goldman, Alyssa Epstein, Janie First, Edna Gamson, Alex Hochberg, Robert Kalish, Miriam Kleinfeld, Chaim David Kirsch, Dan Levine, Alan Michael Levy, Dorothy Norris, Susan Silverman, Shirley Werther, Robert Witt, and Lila Zuckerman. If you're remembering a loved one before this prayer of Kaddish, we invite you to say their name out loud or within your hearts. And we say, Zichronam Livracha, their memories will always be a blessing to us. The words of Morning Kaddish are on page 294. Yit Gadal v'Yit Shemei Rabbah, B'yama Dira Chute v'Yamlich Malchute, B'chayachon v'Yomachon uv'chayet v'chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala uzman kari v'Yimru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevarach Leolam Omei Almaya, Yit Barach v'Yishtabach, v'Yit Pa'ar v'Yit Ramam v'Yit Naseh, v'Yit Hadar v'Yit Taleh v'Yit Talal Shemei Kudsha Brichu, Le'ala min kol brachata v'shirata, tush brachata v'nechamata, damiram v'yamar v'yimru, Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'ol kol Yisrael v'yimru, Amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu yasei shalom, aleinu v'ol kol Yisrael v'yimru, Amen. As I mentioned, this is the last service, which Cantor Dreer Kadrain will be leading for us as one of our cantors. And last night we had a special opportunity to honor her, and it was a really beautiful gathering throughout our Shabbat service. And I didn't want to miss the opportunity to have one more ritual opportunity to thank you, Cantor, for everything you have given this community. Without a doubt, it has been your full heart and spirit and soul. And we are so grateful to that, for that, to you for that. And so I'd like to invite our congregation, those online, to join me in the singing of our Shechianu blessing, our blessing of Thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lezman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lezman hazeh. Our cantor has an extra special working relationship with our choir, and our musicians, who I mentioned earlier, are just magnificent. And we are lucky to have an extraordinary musical director. His name is David Strickland. And we're going to close our service with David sharing a few words about our closing song for today. So David, please.
Thank you, Rabbi. We're really drawing this out, aren't we? And for the record, this may not have been a good idea to let me speak at the end, because hopefully I'll make it. But
Draw it right out, Dave.
I'll draw it right out. Yeah. I want to thank Tori again for letting us, just a little personal privilege. It was so wonderful to hear you chant today, but we're just going to say our final goodbye to Julia. We said so much last night. We asked her what song she wanted to sing as her last song with us, at least for now, for the time being. She's chosen one written by her wife, Ilana Arian, wonderful colleague and dear friend. It's called I Have a Voice, and indeed you do. Wow, incredible, incredible voice. I wrote in the card to you last night that, you know, in addition to your magnificent voice, and I know I speak for everybody, we could all be speaking now, but I have the honor of being that person. Also, what stands out is your vulnerability and your radical empathy. You've taught us so much. You're so kind and so generous, and your voice is so beautiful, and it's just a reflection of who you are inside. And we're going to miss you so much. And even though you're not far away, you're going to be busy. And they're so lucky to have you up there. And you have imprinted on us forever. And we're so grateful. And I'm grateful for your friendship. And I look forward to your next chapter and basking in your reflected glory. And until we meet again.
Thank you so much. What a special, moving moment, and thank you so much, Tori and family, for sharing in this with us. This community at Central is so blessed to have this musical team, and I just wish that you all continue to enjoy each other for years to come, that these beautiful sounds will continue to echo here in Central. We have a voice. It's powerful. It will change the world. I have a voice, my voice is powerful, my voice can change the world. I have a voice, my voice is powerful, my voice can change the world. You can repeat after me now. I will open my eyes, I will not look away. I've been given every day. I have a voice. I have a voice. My voice is powerful. My voice can change the world. I have a voice. My voice is powerful. My voice can change the world. You can repeat after me. I will give of myself. I will give of myself. I will reach out my hand. I will reach out my hand. I will use this heart I've been given to take a stand. I have a voice. My voice is powerful. My voice can change the world. I have a voice. My voice is powerful. My voice can change the world. I have a voice. My voice is powerful. My voice can change the world. I have a voice. My voice is powerful. My voice can change the world.
Amen and amen. Shabbat shalom.